The silver ship came down from the sky like a bird made of metal and light. It was afternoon in Seoul, and the sun made the ship shine so bright that people had to cover their eyes. The ship landed slowly on the big platform at the International Coalition headquarters. This was the place where humans met with visitors from other worlds. Tae-sung stood in the landing area. He was an ambassador, which meant his job was to meet aliens and help them talk to humans. He wore a nice uniform with many badges. His hands were behind his back as he watched the alien ship touch the ground. Even though aliens had been visiting Earth for 3 years now, Tae-sung still felt excited every time a new ship arrived. Many people came to watch. Scientists wanted to study the aliens. Other diplomats wanted to talk to them. Security guards kept the crowds away from the landing platform. Everyone pushed forward to see better. Everyone wanted to know who was inside the ship. The door of the ship opened with a soft hiss. White mist came out first, then a figure appeared in the doorway. Everyone stopped moving. Everyone stopped talking. They all stared. It was a little girl. She looked about 8 years old, but she was not human. Her skin was blue and it glowed softly like a lamp. Her eyes were big and gold-colored like coins in the sunlight. She had only 3 fingers on each hand. She wore a simple white dress that seemed to change colors when she moved, like oil on water. But what made everyone stare the most was what she held in her small hand. It was an old photograph. The edges were worn from being touched many times. The picture showed a young human man in a military uniform. The man was smiling at the camera. Behind the girl, a tall alien stepped out of the ship. This one looked completely different. It had a body made of something that looked like crystal or glass. Light passed through it and made rainbow colors on the ground. It spoke through a small machine that hung around its neck. "Greetings," the crystal alien said. The machine made its voice sound human. "I am Counselor Veltari of the Ascendancy. This is Hana. She has traveled very far to find someone." Tae-sung walked forward. He bowed politely, the way Koreans do when meeting someone important. "Welcome to Earth. How can we help you?" The little girl suddenly ran away from the tall crystal alien. She moved very fast. She ran straight to Tae-sung and stopped in front of him. She held up the old photograph so he could see it clearly. Then she looked up at him with her big gold eyes. "Are you my father?" she asked in perfect Korean. Tae-sung felt very surprised. He looked at the photo, then at the girl, then at the photo again. The man in the picture was young, maybe 25 years old. Tae-sung was much older now and did not look like the man in the photo. No, child. I am not," Tae-sung said softly. The little girl's shoulders dropped a bit. She looked sad, but she nodded. Then she turned to the next person standing nearby. It was Dong-hyun, a security officer. She held up the photo to him. "Are you my father?" she asked him. Dong-hyun looked confused. "No," he said. "I am sorry." The girl moved to the next person. Then the next. Then the next. She asked the same question to everyone. "Are you my father? Are you my father? Are you my father?" Every time people said no. Every time she looked a little sadder. But she kept asking. The crystal alien Veltari walked to Tae-sung. "We apologize for this unusual visit. Perhaps we should talk in private." Tae-sung agreed. They could not talk about important things with so many people watching. Within 1 hour, they were all sitting in a quiet conference room. The room had a big table and comfortable chairs. The walls were white and clean. Hana sat in a chair that was too big for her. Her feet did not touch the floor. She still held the photograph tightly. She looked at it often as if making sure it was still there. Veltari began to explain. 23 years ago, a human explorer had an accident. His name was J1. His ship broke down far from Earth on our world. He was alone. He was hurt. He was very far from any human settlement. Veltari paused, choosing words carefully. One of our people found him. Her name was Lyra. She was a scientist. She took Jaewon to her home and helped him get better. This took a long time. 2 years. Tae-sung listened carefully. A scientist named Jiwoo had also come to the meeting. She was very smart and asked many questions. Now she sat quietly and listened too. During those 2 years, Veltari continued, something happened. Jaewon and Lyra fell in love. This should not have been possible. Humans and my people are very different. We cannot usually have children together. But Lyra was a genetic researcher. She was very smart and very determined. She found a way to make it possible. Hana, Tae-sung said quietly, understanding now. Yes. Hana is the daughter of the human J1 and the Veltari Lyra. She is the only one like her in the whole universe. Half human, half Veltari. Everyone in the room looked at the little girl. She was looking at her photograph and did not notice them staring. J1 stayed with Lyra and baby Hana for 3 more years, Veltari said. Then a human ship passed near our world. They found J1's emergency signal. They came to rescue him. J1 had to make a very hard choice. He could stay on our world forever, far from all other humans, or he could go back to Earth and try to bring his family later. He chose to go back, said Jiwoo. Yes. He believed he could tell Earth about us. He believed he could make official contact between our worlds. Then he could come back for Lyra and Hana. He promised he would return. The room was very quiet. Everyone knew what came next, but he never came back, Taesung said. No, we do not know what happened. Maybe Earth did not believe his story. Maybe they said he could not go back. Maybe. Veltari's crystal body seemed to get darker. Maybe he chose not to come back. Taesung looked at Hana again. The little girl was still staring at the photo. Her face looked very sad. Lyra died 2 years ago, Veltari said. Before she died, she made Hana promise something. She made her promise to find her father. The only things Lyra could give Hana were that photograph and a name. Just a name, J1. That is why she asks everyone, Taesung said. Yes, Hana knows her father is human. She knows his name is J1. But she does not know his face has gotten older. She does not understand that Earth has billions of people. She does not know how hard it will be to find him. She only knows she made a promise to her mother. No one spoke for a long time. They all felt sad for the little girl who had traveled so far to find her father. Finally, Taesung spoke. We will help her. We will find J1 wherever he is. Hana looked up at him. Her gold eyes were shiny with tears. But for the first time since she arrived on Earth, she smiled. It was a small smile, but it was real. Thank you, she said in her small voice. Outside the conference room window, the sun was setting. The sky turned orange and pink. Somewhere on this big planet, a man named J1 was living his life. He did not know that his daughter was looking for him. He did not know she had come so far. He did not know that very soon his whole world would change. Hana looked at her photograph one more time. In the picture, her father was smiling. She hoped he would smile like that when he saw her. She hoped he would be happy. She hoped he had not forgotten about her mother. But most of all, she hoped that when she asked him the question, his answer would be yes. The Global Coalition database was like a giant library, but instead of books, it held information about every person who lived on Earth. Young Mi sat in front of many computer screens. Her fingers moved fast across the keyboard. She was a data analyst, which meant she was very good at finding information. We have a problem, Young Mi said. She looked tired. She had been searching for hours. The name J1 is very common in Korea. The computer found over 50,000 men with that name. Hana sat near Young Mi, watching everything she did. The coalition had given Hana a room in their building to stay in. Counselor Veltari had gone back to the ship to do other work. The humans were taking care of Hana now. We need to make the search smaller, Young Mi said. We need to look for men who were in the military. Men who are the right age. Men who went to space 23 years ago. A young man named Kyung-soo sat with Hana. He was an intern, which meant he was still learning how to do his job. He had volunteered to keep Hana company. He brought her food and water. He tried to make her smile. You are very quiet, Kyung-soo said to Hana. Are you okay? I am watching and learning, Hana replied. She spoke very properly, using big words sometimes. Mother taught me that patience is important when you are looking for something. She said father was patient too. What else did your mother tell you about him? Hana's face became softer. She looked happy when she talked about her mother. She said he was kind. She said he laughed a lot. She said he used to sing songs from Earth while he fixed his broken ship. Hana touched the old photograph gently. She said he looked at her like she was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. This was special because they were so different from each other. Kyung-soo felt his throat get tight. He felt sad for Hana. Your mother must have loved him very much. She did. And she always told me he loved us too. That is why I must find him. I need him to know that I exist. I need him to know that mother never forgot him. Young Mai suddenly stood up from her chair. Her face looked pale like she had seen something scary or shocking. I think I found something, she said. Everyone gathered around Young Mi's computer screen. Taesung had just walked into the room. He came at the right time. Look at this, Young Mi said, pointing at the screen. 23 years ago, there was a secret military mission. It was called the Taejong Expedition. They kept it secret until 5 years ago. The military sent 5 ships to explore a faraway star system. 4 ships came back. 1 ship did not come back. Which ship? Taesung asked. The ship was piloted by Lieutenant Jae-won Park. The military said the ship was lost. They said all people on board were dead. Lost? Taesung said. Not destroyed? The report says they lost the signal from the ship. They could not find any pieces of the broken ship. But they still marked Lieutenant Park as KIA. That means killed in action. They said he was dead. So they thought he was dead, Kyung-soo said slowly. That is why he never came back. They did not send anyone to rescue him because they thought he was already gone. Hana stood up from her chair. She was small, but she looked very strong at that moment. Her hands held the edge of the table. But he was not dead. He was with Mother. He was alive, yes, Taesung said. And when another ship finally found him and brought him home, what did he find? The military had already said he was dead. His family probably had a funeral for him. His whole life had moved on without him. Young Mi typed more things into the computer. She pulled up more files. Look at this. After Lieutenant Park came back, he wrote many reports. He told them he survived. He asked permission to go back to the planet where he had been living. He asked many times. What did the military say? Asked Ji-woo, who had also come into the room. They said no every time. They said the planet was too far away. They said it would cost too much money to send a ship there. They called it personal reasons. They said they could not spend military resources for personal reasons. Personal reasons, Ji-woo repeated. She sounded angry. They kept a man away from his family. They called his wife and child personal reasons. Where is he now? Hana asked. Her voice was very quiet, almost a whisper. Young Mi's fingers moved across the keyboard again. According to the current records, Jae-won Park is 47 years old. He lives in Busan now. That is a city by the ocean. He works as a civilian engineer at the shipyards. He builds ships. Young Mi stopped and looked at another part of the screen. And according to social records, he is not married. He has no registered children. The room became very quiet. No one knew what to say. He never married, Kyung-soo said softly. After all these years, he never found someone else. He is waiting, Hana said. She sounded very sure. He made a promise too, just like Mother did. Taesung walked over to Hana. He got down on his knees so his face was at the same height as hers. He wanted to look into her eyes when he talked to her. We will go to Busan, Taesung said. We will find him together. But Hana, you need to understand something. Even if we find him, he might not know what to say. It has been more than 20 years. He might have changed. He might not be the same person your mother knew. He is my father, Hana said simply. Mother told me that some connections are stronger than time and distance. She believed that. I believe it too. Taesung looked at the little girl with her blue glowing skin and her gold eyes. She was so young, but she was also very brave. She had traveled across space to find a father she had never met. She had asked her question to hundreds of strangers. She had not given up. Then we will take you to him, Taesung said. They made plans quickly. They would take the fast train to Busan the next day. So Young, a kind woman who worked as a coalition liaison, would go with them. Kyung-soo asked if he could come too. Taesung said yes. That night, Hana could not sleep well. She lay in her bed in the coalition building and looked at the photograph of her father. She wondered what he would say when he saw her. She wondered if he would recognize her as his daughter even though they looked so different. She thought about her mother. Lyra had been sick for a long time before she died. But even when she was very sick, she told Hana stories. Stories about Earth, stories about the ocean, stories about a human man who crashed on their world and brought love with him. Find him, her mother had said with her last breaths. Find your father. Tell him I loved him until the end. Tell him I never blamed him for leaving. Tell him about you. Let him see what our love created, Hana had promised. And now she was so close to keeping that promise. She got out of bed and walked to the window. The city lights of Seoul sparkled below. So many lights, so many people. Earth was so different from her mother's world. The Veltari world was quiet and peaceful. Earth was loud and busy and full of life. Her father had lived on both worlds. He had left Earth for space. He had crashed on a strange planet. He had fallen in love with someone who was not even his species. He had left that love behind to come back to Earth. And then Earth would not let him return to his family. Hana thought that must have hurt him very much. To be trapped between two worlds, to have to choose, to make the wrong choice and lose everything. "I am coming, Father," she whispered to the lights of the city. "Wait just a little longer. I'm almost there." The next morning they prepared to leave for Busan. Hana wore new clothes that the coalition had bought for her. They were simple and comfortable. She carried a small bag with a few things she owned, but the most important thing was still the photograph. She held it carefully in her hand. Before they left, Counselor Veltari came to say goodbye. The tall crystal alien bent down to speak to Hana. "Your mother would be proud of you," Veltari said. "You have been very brave." "I am scared," Hana admitted. "Being brave does not mean you are not scared," Veltari said. "It means you do what you must do even when you are scared. That is what your mother did. That is what you are doing now." Hana hugged Veltari. It was strange to hug someone made of crystal, but it felt right. Then it was time to go. They walked to the train station. Hana looked at everything with wide eyes. She had never seen a train before. It was long and white and very fast-looking. "Ready?" Taesung asked. Hana took a deep breath. She held her photograph close to her heart. "Yes," she said. "I am ready to meet my father." The train moved very fast through the countryside. It went 400 kilometers every hour. But to Hana it felt too slow. She pressed her blue face against the window and watched everything pass by. Mountains became cities. Cities became fields. Rivers sparkled in the sunlight like her mother's crystal lakes back home. "Have you ever been on a train before?" asked So Young. She sat next to Hana and smiled kindly. So Young was in her 30s with warm eyes that made Hana feel safe. "Never," Hana said. "Mother and I lived in a research station. It was very quiet there. Not like Earth. Earth is so—" She stopped, trying to find the right word. "Earth is so loud. But it is a good kind of loud. A wonderful kind of loud." Kyung-soo sat across from them. He smiled at Hana's words. "Seoul is very loud. But Busan is different. Busan is next to the ocean. You will like it there." "Ocean," Hana repeated. She said the word slowly, like she was tasting it. "Mother told me about Father's stories of water. He said there was so much water you could not see the end of it." "Is that true?" "Very true," So Young said. "Your mother's world did not have oceans. We had lakes made of crystal. When the wind blew through them, they made beautiful sounds like music. But we did not have oceans. Father told Mother he missed the smell of salt in the air. He missed the sound of waves." Hana's voice became quieter. "Do you think he still remembers those things?" No one knew what to say. They did not know if Jaewon still thought about the life he left behind. They did not know if he still remembered Lyra. They did not know if he had spent 20 years trying to forget, or 20 years trying to remember. Taesung sat across the aisle. He looked at his tablet computer, reading files about Jaewon Park. They had called the Busan Coalition office to tell them they were coming. But they had not called Jaewon himself. There had been a big discussion about this. Some people said Jaewon should be warned. They said he deserved to know that his daughter was coming. Other people said no. They said the shock might make him refuse to meet Hana. They said he might run away or hide. In the end, Hana had made the decision herself. "If he is not ready when we arrive," she had said, "then we will wait until he is ready. But I do not want to give him time to be afraid. Mother said that fear makes people do things they will regret later." Taesung thought Hana was very smart. Her mother must have been smart too. The train began to slow down. They were getting close to Busan Station. Hana's blue skin started to glow brighter. So Young had learned that this happened when Hana felt strong emotions. The brighter Hana glowed, the more she was feeling inside. "Are you nervous?" So Young asked gently. "Yes," Hana said honestly. "What if he does not want me? What if Mother was wrong? What if he forgot about us?" Kyung-soo moved to sit next to Hana. He wanted to help her feel better. "Listen to me. I read all about your father. Do you know what he did after the military said he could not go back to your mother?" Hana shook her head no. He quit his job. He was a decorated officer. That means he was very good at his job and had won many awards. He could have had a great career in the military. But he walked away from all of it because they would not let him go back to you and your mother. Hana's gold eyes got very wide. Then he got a job building ships, Kyung-soo continued. Faster ships. Better ships. I think he has been preparing. I think he has been working on ships that could take him back to you someday. He has not forgotten. He has been waiting. Tears filled Hana's eyes. They were strange tears, clear but with tiny sparkles in them like glitter. Really? She whispered. Really? Kyung-soo promised. The train stopped at the station. Through the windows, Hana could see the ocean far in the distance. It was huge and blue and went on forever, just like in her father's stories. She stared at it and felt her heart beat faster. They got off the train and took a car to the shipyards where Jae-won worked. The shipyards were enormous. Giant ships that were not finished yet rose up like metal mountains. Workers in yellow hard hats walked between welding stations where bright sparks flew. Machines beeped and clanged. The smell of metal and oil filled the air. A big man with a gruff voice met them at the entrance. His name was Byung-ho, and he was the site supervisor. That meant he was in charge of all the workers. You are here about Jae-won? Byung-ho asked. He looked confused. He is a good worker, very good. What is this about? It is personal, Tae-sung said carefully. Is he here today? He is up on platform 7, but I should tell you something. Jae-won does not like being interrupted when he is working. He keeps to himself mostly, does not talk much to the other workers. They thanked Byung-ho and followed his directions. They walked through the shipyard, going upstairs and across metal walkways. Finally, they reached platform 7, and there he was. Jae-won stood on a high platform overlooking a massive engine. He held a digital pad and was making notes. He wore simple work clothes. His hair had gray in it now, especially at the sides. His face had lines on it that came from years of sadness and hard work. Hana stopped walking. She could not move. She pulled out her photograph with shaking hands. She looked at the young man in the picture. Then she looked at the older man standing on the platform. She compared them carefully. The eyes, she whispered. Mother was right. The eyes are exactly the same. Jae-won looked up. He had heard something or felt someone watching him. His eyes moved across the group of people. He saw Tae-sung in his official uniform. He saw So-young with her diplomatic badge. He saw young Kyung-soo with his intern identification card. Then he saw Hana. His digital pad fell from his hands. It clattered loudly on the metal floor. All the color left his face. He looked like he might faint. He took one step forward, then stopped. He looked afraid that if he moved too fast, Hana might disappear like smoke. Lyra? He whispered. His voice cracked and broke. Hana stepped forward. She was small and scared, but she was also brave. She held up the photograph so he could see it clearly. Are you my father? She asked. For a moment, Jae-won just stood there. Then his legs stopped working. He fell to his knees on the hard platform. One hand covered his mouth. Tears poured down his face. His whole body shook. Yes, he said. The word came out like a sob. Oh God, yes. I am your father. Hana started to cry too. She ran to him. Her small legs carried her across the platform as fast as they could. Jae-won opened his arms and she crashed into him. He wrapped his arms around her and held her so tight, like he was afraid she might vanish if he let go. You are real, he kept saying. You are real. You are real. I am real, Hana said against his chest. Mother sent me to find you. At the word mother, Jae-won cried harder. Lyra, is she? She died 2 years ago, Hana said softly. But she told me to find you. She told me to tell you she loved you until the very end. She told me to tell you she never stopped waiting. Jae-won made a sound that was half crying and half something else. It was the sound of a heart that had been broken for 20 years finally beginning to heal. He held Hana at arm's length so he could look at her properly. You have her eyes, he said, touching Hana's face gently. The color is different, but the shape. You have her eyes. And her smile. He laughed and cried at the same time. I have a daughter. All this time I had a daughter and I did not know. You know now, Hana said. She put her small 3-fingered hand on his cheek. I found you, father. I kept my promise to mother. And now we can keep your promise too. My promise? You promised you would come back. You could not come back to us, so I came to you instead. Mother said that is okay. She said promises can be kept in different ways. Jae-won pulled Hana close again. He rocked back and forth, holding his daughter and crying. All around them, the shipyard was loud with machines and work. But on Platform 7 there was only a father and daughter meeting for the first time. Taesung, So-young, and Kyung-soo stood back and gave them space. So-young was crying too. Even Kyung-soo had to wipe his eyes. Taesung just smiled. After all his years as an ambassador, after all the meetings and negotiations and diplomatic events, this was the best outcome he had ever seen. A family torn apart by distance and time and bureaucracy was finally together again. Hana had asked her question to hundreds of people. And finally, she had found the one person who could answer yes. They moved to a quiet office inside the shipyard building. Jae-won could not stop looking at Hana. Every few seconds his hand would reach out toward her, then pull back. It was like he still could not believe she was real. Like he thought she might be a dream that would end if he touched her. She is really here, So-young said gently. This is not a dream. Jae-won laughed, but it sounded wet with tears. I keep thinking I finally lost my mind. After all these years of hoping and failing and hoping again, maybe my brain just broke and created what I wanted most. She is real, Taesung said, and she traveled a very long way to find you. Hana sat across from her father. She studied him carefully with her gold eyes. She was trying to match the man in front of her with all the stories her mother had told. Finally she spoke. Mother said you would have come back if you could. Jae-won's face twisted with pain. I tried so hard, his voice broke. They told me I was dead. Can you imagine that? Coming home and finding out everyone thinks you are dead? My family had already buried an empty coffin. My mother cried at my funeral. He stopped and took a deep breath. I filed requests every single week for a year. I begged them. I told them about Lyra. I told them about the breakthrough she made in genetics. I told them everything. What did they say? Taesung asked. They classified it all. They said the region was too far away. They said it was too dangerous. They said it would cost too much money for personal matters. Jae-won looked angry now. They offered me promotions. They offered me medals and awards. They offered me everything except the one thing I actually wanted. He looked at Hana. I quit the military. I thought if I could not go back through them, I would find another way. I started working with ships. Building them, improving them. I thought maybe I could create a ship fast enough to make the journey affordable. I have been working on that for 19 years. You never married, Kyung-soo said quietly. How could I? Jae-won's voice was rough with emotion. I loved someone. I had a life on another world. I just did not know. He looked at Hana and his eyes filled with tears again. I did not know about you. Lyra and I talked about children. We wondered if it was even possible for our species to have children together. But we never actually tried. When did she? After you left, Hana said. Her voice was soft and kind. Mother said it took her 3 months to realize she was pregnant. She said she cried happy tears for an entire day because it meant she would always have a part of you with her. Jae-won put his face in his hands and his shoulders shook. He cried like a man who had held pain inside for too long. She was happy, Hana continued. She wanted her father to know this. She told me every day how much she loved me. She told me how much you would have loved me too if you had known. She said you used to talk about having children. You wanted to teach them to swim in Earth's oceans. You wanted to show them the crystal lakes of her world. I did want that, Jae-won whispered. I wanted everything with her. We made so many plans. We were going to... He could not finish the sentence. So-young reached into her bag. She pulled out a small device that looked like a silver egg. We brought something for you. Counselor Veltari said Lyra recorded messages before she passed away. This one is for you. Jae-won took the device with trembling hands. He touched it and a holographic image appeared above it. A woman made of crystal appeared, glowing softly with inner light. She looked older in the recording. Her body showed signs of age and sickness, but her eyes were kind and full of love. Jae-won, the hologram said. Her voice was like music. If you are seeing this, then our daughter found you. Yes, our daughter. Her name is Hana. It means one in Korean and flower in Japanese. You told me once that names should have meaning. Names should carry hope. She is our hope. She is proof that love can cross any distance, any difference. The hologram of Lyra smiled. It was a sad smile, but also a happy one. I was angry at first when you did not return. Lyra's hologram continued. I thought maybe you forgot about me. I thought maybe Earth took you back completely. But Hana got your stubbornness. She pushed me to investigate. When I learned what happened, that they declared you dead, that they forbade you from returning, I understood, and I forgave you. Jaewon was crying so hard he could barely see the hologram. I need you to know that I never stopped loving you, Lyra said. Every single day I told Hana stories about her father, the brave human who crashed on our world and showed us that connection needs no common language. Connection needs no shared biology. Connection only needs an open heart. I told her about your terrible singing. Jaewon laughed through his tears. I told her about the day you fixed your communicator and cried when you heard your people still lived. I told her about our promise to each other. No matter what happened, we would find a way back to each other. I have done my part, Jaewon. I have given you the greatest gift I could, our daughter. Now it is your turn to keep your promise. Love her. Teach her about Earth. Show her the oceans you missed so much. Tell her stories about me so she never forgets where she came from. The hologram flickered slightly. I will wait for you both in whatever comes after death. Until then, my love, and goodbye. The image disappeared. The room was completely silent except for the sound of Jaewon crying. Hana got up from her chair. She walked slowly to her father. She reached out and put her small hand on his shoulder. I am here now, she said softly. Mother sent me to find you. We do not have to be alone anymore. Jaewon pulled Hana into his arms. He held her like he would never let go. He held her like she was the most precious thing in the universe, because to him she was. I am so sorry, he whispered into her hair. I am so sorry I was not there. I am so sorry you grew up without me. I am so sorry your mother had to raise you alone. Mother was not angry, Hana said. She understood. And she loved you until her last breath. She told me that every day. She made sure I knew that you were a good man who wanted to be with us but could not. I did want to be there. I wanted it more than anything. I know, Father. I know. They stayed like that for a long time. Father and daughter, meeting for the first time but feeling like they had always known each other. Around them, the others waited quietly. They did not interrupt. This moment was too important, too sacred. Outside the window, the sun was beginning to set. The ocean in the distance turned orange and gold. Waves rolled in, one after another, never stopping. Just like promises. Just like love. Finally, Jaewon pulled back and looked at Hana again. He touched her face gently, like she was made of glass and might break. You look like her, he said. Different, but the same. You have her spirit. I can see it in your eyes. And I have your stubbornness, Hana said with a small smile. Mother said that many times, Jaewon laughed. It was a real laugh this time, not one mixed with tears. She always said I was too stubborn for my own good. She said it with love. I know she did. Tae-sung cleared his throat gently. We should discuss what happens next. Hana will need somewhere to stay. She will need documentation. She will stay with me, Jaewon said immediately. His voice was firm and strong. She is my daughter. She stays with me. Of course, Tae-sung said, but there are legal matters to consider. She is the only human-alien hybrid in existence. There are people who will want to study her. Scientists, diplomats, governments. No, Jaewon said sharply. She is not a specimen. She is not a diplomatic tool. She is my daughter, and I will protect her from anyone who tries to use her. Hana looked up at her father. She had been worried about this, worried that Earth would see her as something strange to be examined. But her father was already protecting her, already choosing her over everything else. We will make sure she is protected, Tae-sung promised. The coalition has already started working on legal protections for hybrid individuals. We are calling them the Hana Accords. You named them after me? Hana asked, surprised. You are the first, So Young explained. These laws will make sure no one can force you to do anything you do not want to do. They will make sure you have rights. They will make sure no government can separate you from your family. Jaewon squeezed Hana's hand. You hear that? You are changing the world already. Just by existing. Just by being brave enough to come here. Mother said I was brave like you. Your mother was the brave one, Jaewon said. She took in a stranger from another world. She loved him even though everyone said it was impossible. She raised a child alone and made sure that child knew she was loved. That is real courage, Hana nodded. She missed her mother so much. But being here with her father made the missing hurt a little less. Can we go see the ocean? Hana asked. Mother said you told her so many stories about it. I want to see what you saw. Jaewon smiled. It was the first real full smile he had made in 20 years. Yes, he said. Let me show you the ocean. 3 months had passed since Hana found her father. She stood on the beach in Busan now, her feet in the sand. The sand felt strange under her feet. It was soft and warm and moved when she stepped on it. Waves came up and touched her toes. The water was cold, then warm, then cold again. She laughed, and her laughter sounded like bells in the wind. "You are smiling," Jae-won said. He walked beside her on the beach. He had taken time off from work. His boss understood now. His boss told him to take all the time he needed with his daughter. "Mother was right," Hana said. "The ocean is wonderful. It is alive in a way I never imagined." They walked together along the shore. Hana was unusual looking, with her blue glowing skin and gold eyes. People stared at them sometimes. But Jae-won did not care. Let them stare. This was his daughter, and he was proud. The world had learned about Hana quickly. News reporters wanted to interview her. Scientists wanted to study her. Some people said she should go back to her mother's world. Other people said she was human by birth and should stay on Earth. Everyone had opinions about where Hana belonged, but Hana had made her choice clear. She belonged with her father. She was both human and Veltari. She was both things at once, and that was okay. The coalition had created new laws because of her. They called them the Hana Accords, and they said that hybrid children had rights. They said no government could force them to choose one species over another. They said families could not be separated just because they were different species. It was a small law in the big universe. But it meant everything to Hana. "What are you thinking about?" Jae-won asked. "I'm thinking about Mother," Hana said. "I wish she could see this. I wish she could see us together." "I think she can," Jae-won said softly. "Wherever she is now, I think she knows we found each other. I think she is happy." They continued walking until they reached a spot where other people were gathered. So Young and Kyung-soo were there. Young Mi and Ji-woo had come from Seoul. Even Ambassador Tae-sung was there. They had all become like family to Hana in the past 3 months. "We brought food," Kyung-soo called out. He waved at them. "Traditional Korean food and some Veltari dishes we tried to make from Counselor Veltari's recipes." They sat on blankets on the sand. They ate together and talked and laughed. Hana listened to stories about her father's life on Earth. She learned things the photograph could never show her. She learned that he liked spicy food. She learned that he was terrible at dancing. She learned that he cried during sad movies even though he tried to hide it. As the sun began to set, the sky turned beautiful colors, orange and pink and purple painted across the clouds. Hana watched it carefully, memorizing every shade. "Your mother's world has 2 suns," Jae-won said. "The sunsets there are different. The light comes from 2 directions and makes everything look silver and gold at the same time." "You remember," Hana said quietly. "I remember everything," Jae-won replied. "Every single day I spent there. Every conversation with your mother. Every sunrise and sunset. I could never forget." Hana leaned against her father's shoulder. "Will we ever go back? Together?" Jae-won was quiet for a moment. "I do not know. The technology is not there yet. It would take years, maybe decades. But I have not stopped working on it." He squeezed her hand. "And now I have an even better reason to succeed." Over the next few weeks, life settled into a pattern. Hana moved into Jae-won's apartment. He had made changes to make her comfortable. He learned that Veltari needed more sleep than humans, but in shorter amounts. He discovered she could see colors he could not see. He found out she was afraid of completely silent rooms because on her mother's world, the crystals always sang. So he bought wind chimes. They hung outside her bedroom window and made soft music when the breeze blew. At night, Hana fell asleep to their gentle sounds and dreamed of both her worlds. Hana enrolled in a special school program. It was designed for children with unique needs. She was brilliant, just like her mother had been. She understood science and math easily. She could solve problems that confused other children, but she struggled too. Social rules did not always make sense to her. Human emotions were complicated and sometimes contradictory. Why did people say one thing but mean another? Why did they smile when they were sad? Why did they laugh when they were nervous? Her classmates were curious about her, but kind. They asked questions about her mother's world. They wanted to know what it was like to be half alien. Hana answered their questions patiently. She taught them about Veltari culture. She showed them pictures of the crystal lakes and the singing stones, and slowly she made friends. At home, Jaewon learned how to be a father. He had missed the first 8 years of Hana's life, but he tried to make up for it now. He helped her with homework. He cooked meals for her, learning which Earth foods she liked and which ones her hybrid biology could not digest. He told her stories about her mother and about the time they spent together. One evening, Hana came to Jaewon with a small box. "I made something," she said shyly. Inside the box was a pendant. Half of it was Veltari crystal that glowed with soft blue light. Half of it was earth metal engraved with coordinates. The two halves were joined perfectly together. "These are Mother's coordinates," Hana explained, pointing to the engraving. "The location of her world. And this crystal is from a piece of her research station. I wanted to make something that honored both worlds. Both parts of who I am." Jaewon's hands shook as he held the pendant. "It is beautiful. You are brilliant, just like your mother. Will you wear it?" Hana asked. "Always," Jaewon promised. He fastened it around his neck. The crystal glowed against his chest, right over his heart. News of Hana's story had spread throughout the galaxy. Other species heard about the human who loved a Veltari. They heard about the child who crossed space to find her father. They heard about the family reunited after 20 years. Some said it was impossible. Some said it was a miracle. Some said it proved that love could exist between any beings, no matter how different. Counselor. Veltari visited again 6 months after Hana first arrived on Earth. The tall crystal being met with Hana and Jaewon in their apartment. "The Veltari Council wishes to extend an invitation," Veltari said. "They would like both of you to visit our world. They want to honor Lyra's memory and meet the child she created." Jaewon looked at Hana. "What do you think?" "I want to see Mother's world," Hana said. "I want to see where I was born. I want to see the crystal lakes and hear the stones sing." "Then we will go," Jaewon said. "Together." "There is more news," Veltari continued. "The Coalition has approved funding for a new class of ships. Faster ships that can make the journey to our world in 3 months instead of 3 years. Your father's designs were instrumental in this breakthrough, Hana. He has been working toward this for nearly 20 years. Hana looked at her father with wide eyes. "You did it?" "We did it," Jaewon corrected. "I did it for you. For your mother. For all of us." A year after Hana first arrived on Earth, Jaewon took her back to the shipyard. Platform 7 looked different now. Where there had once been routine engine work, now stood a beautiful new ship. It was sleek and silver, with design elements from both Earth and Veltar. It looked like it belonged to both worlds at once, just like Hana herself. "I am calling it the Lyra," Jaewon said. "After your mother. This ship will carry diplomats between our worlds. It will help humans and Veltari understand each other better. It will make sure no other family has to wait 20 years to be together." Hana's skin glowed so brightly that everyone around them had to shield their eyes. She was feeling so much emotion that her body could not contain it all. "Mother would love this," she whispered. "She would." Jaewon agreed. "And she would be so proud of you." "You did what she asked. You found me. You kept your promise, and we both kept our promises," Hana said. "You promised to come back. You could not come back to her, but you never stopped trying, and now we can go together." They boarded the Lyra for its test flight. The Coalition had approved them as the first passengers. It seemed fitting that Jaewon and Hana would be the ones to test the ship that would connect their two worlds. As the ship lifted off from Earth, Hana looked down at the planet below. She saw the oceans her father had missed so much. She saw the cities full of light and sound. She saw the world that was half of her heritage. "Will we come back?" she asked. "Of course," Jaewon said. "Earth is your home too. We will travel between both worlds. You never have to choose, Hana. You can be both. You can belong to both." The ship moved faster, breaking free of Earth's gravity. Stars appeared all around them, countless and beautiful. Somewhere among those stars was Veltar, the world where Hana was born, the world where her mother had lived and loved and died. "I asked so many people my question," Hana said softly. "Are you my father?" "I asked hundreds of people, and they all said no." I was starting to think I would never find the right person. "But you did not give up," Jaewon said. "No. Mother told me that some things are worth any amount of effort. She said finding you would be worth every no I heard along the way." Hana smiled. She was right. Jaewon pulled his daughter close. Through the ship's windows they could see both Earth behind them and the vast universe ahead. "Two worlds, two species, one family. I love you, Hana," Jaewon said.